The monthly log is where your bullet journal helps you organize your month simply and clearly. Welcome back to the Bullet Journal Breakdown series. Here we slow things down and make the basics of the bullet journal method make sense. Today we are talking about the monthly log, a simple yet powerful way for you to organize your month at a glance. This is where you capture your big goals, tasks, events, appointments, and anything else that will shape your weeks ahead without getting lost in the daily noise. Whether you are new to bullet journaling or you just need a refresh of the basics, I'm here to walk you through what the monthly log is, how to set one up, and some tips you can incorporate to make it work in your life. The monthly log is one of the core parts of the bullet journal system. Think of this like a bird's eye view of your month. It helps you take a step back from your day-to-day tasks so you can see the bigger picture ahead, like deadlines, big goals, events, appointments, that kind of stuff. Think of this as a bridge between your future planning, which is the future log, and your weeklies or your dailies. The monthly log gives you space to capture the important stuff of the month without getting lost or overwhelmed by all the little details. A typical monthly log usually has two sections. The first one is the calendar or dates. This is where you list the days of the month in order, often with a little note about what's happening on each day, like birthdays, meetings, or deadlines. It's a quick snapshot you can glance at any time. I typically do a linear calendar where I will write all the dates from the top down to the bottom of the page in one column. This is because it's really easy to set up, but by all means, make yourself a grid calendar if that's what you like looking at. The second element is usually a task list. This section is where you jot down the big tasks you want to work on during the month. It's your reminder of what matters most. One of the great things about the monthly log and just the bullet journal method in general is that it's flexible. You don't have to adhere to a strict format. Some people like vertical calendars, me. Some people like grid calendars. Some people want to add habit trackers or a mood log to their monthly log. Some people want to add a lot of color to it. Some people want to add a monthly TBR or a playlist or goals or reflections. You know, the list goes on in the customizations. I believe the key is to make it simple and useful for your life. This spread is here to help you stay aware of what's coming and to help you accomplish anything that you've set your mind to. When you start your month with a very clear and organized monthly log, it's easier for you to break down those monthly tasks into weekly tasks or daily tasks. This would therefore reduce overwhelm and then help you focus on what really matters. And while I show you some of my old monthly logs, let me just give you a few tips. Number one, keep your calendar section simple. A vertical list of dates with short notes works great. There is no need to draw a full grid unless you want to. Number two, use bullet points for tasks or goals. This makes it easy to add, check off, or migrate tasks later. Consider highlighting or circling important dates like birthdays, appointments, or deadlines. That way they can stand out and you can spot them quickly. You can add a small habit tracker if you want, but keep it minimal. Just track a few key habits that matter most to you. Don't stress about making it look perfect. Your journal is a tool for you. And lastly, review your monthly log regularly. Glance at it daily or weekly to stay on top of your plans and adjust as needed. Remember, the best monthly log is one that feels natural and helpful for your life. So please feel free to experiment and find what works without pressure. If you want any inspiration for monthly log spread ideas, I have a video linked in the cards and in the description box below. Here are almost all of my bullet journal notebooks. I've been bullet journaling for many years now, I think 7 going on 8. I want to give you a little deeper dive into the various monthly log spreads I've tried over the years and show you my own personal customizations so that you can gather inspiration and design monthly logs that work for you. We're going to begin with my very first bullet journal. This one, it's a Clairefontaine graph notebook. I opted for a traditional grid calendar over a linear calendar because I felt like I had too much going on in my life to be able to compartmentalize it all onto one page, going down a list. I made a traditional calendar, and you can see I already added some customizations with some color coding going on. I would highlight events and my work shifts back when I used to work as a Starbucks barista. I would also tally the hours worked at the end of each week with a grand total at the end of the month. I also included when I would have papers due because I was in university at the time. And I also highlighted when my husband, then boyfriend, Nigel, and I would travel to see each other because we were in a long distance relationship. And here's another monthly log spread. Something that I did when I first started out bullet journaling was I created a monthly cover page for some of my monthly logs, and that's because it was a big trend to have a monthly cover page, especially when bullet journaling became this mainstream phenomenon on the internet. So I would create a monthly cover page. It wasn't my thing to do at all. I was definitely trying to do what everyone else was doing. And that's usually what happens when you first start something new, is you just copy what everyone else is doing. And then over time, you figure out your own style of doing things. So if you want to, you can totally add a monthly cover page. This is a version of the linear calendar. So what I did was section off this linear calendar into 2 categories of information. I would jot down all of my work shifts and then include the hours I worked so that I could check my paycheck was correct. And then I had a personal column where I would write down when I would be traveling, any extracurriculars, when I would have film and TV auditions. Something you can include in your monthly log is making goals as well. Here's another linear monthly log that is somewhat similar to the previous one. I separated it into 2 columns with events and notes, and then I have goals, and then I have stats. I then made a monthly budget, which is like a May finances spread. I also included a mood and sleep tracker, a habit tracker, and some gratitude as well. For quite some time, this was my go-to monthly log layout. I really like a linear calendar, and then I would draw a line separating each week so that it was easy for me to see each week of the month at a glance. And then I would have a little habit tracker on the right side of the linear calendar. I would track YouTube uploads or when I would intermittent fast, that kind of thing. I would have goals, and then I would write down the YouTube videos I uploaded. And then I would have a small section to write what's coming up for the next month ahead. Here's another monthly log spread and another monthly log spread. Here's another monthly log when I was first beginning bullet journaling. You can see there's a lot of color going on. I was using whatever markers I had at home, and I would write down all my school related stuff, and then I would have work and personal. I also included my semester schedule, so when I would have my classes. This is October when I attempted to do a cover page and a mood tracker. This is definitely a more minimalist monthly log spread. I really like this look. It is so satisfying to my eyes. What I did differently was I would separate the weeks just where the days and the dates are, which keeps it even cleaner. What I did to encourage making my linear calendars very crisp and clean was to avoid writing anything that wasn't set in stone yet. That way I can prevent myself from crossing things out and putting a lot of whiteout on the page. Here's my February monthly log. I decided to extend the linear calendar to 2 pages, and I would create different columns for different categories. So I would put in my work shifts here, any personal related appointments, any events going on, and then my Bible study tracker. I included goals, favorite verses, things like that. This is a monthly log spread I did as a bullet journaling experiment I did a couple years back, where I wanted to show people that you don't have to spend a lot of money bullet journaling. So I just bought myself a ruled page notebook from the dollar store and demonstrated how you can bullet journal in just about any notebook. I did a linear calendar, a monthly notes page, and things to check out. Here's another variation of the monthly log spread in a lined notebook. You can see I have a linear calendar with 2 columns for 2 different categories of information, a habit tracker, a note section, and things I want to check out. Another monthly log spread, you can see I've done some customizing with stamps and highlighters as a header. Here's a little cover page I did. I would write out the November calendar here, include any dates that were memorable before launching into my monthly log. Here's an old monthly log spread back when I first started bullet journaling. You can tell with the artsy monthly cover page. I'm just covering up sensitive information here. It's May finances, but I did a mood tracker. Here's my bullet journal from this year, 2025. Kept it really simple, and it's something that I like. This is really my style, is a linear calendar, a little habit tracker, and this is a bit of micro journaling where I would write down a small joy that I experienced each day. I did the same layout for March, but I called the small joys section something else. Here's the May monthly log spread with the line separation for each week. I included goals I had for the month, videos that I put out, and a master to-do list for the month ahead. Here's August's monthly log, looking a little bare. I did a 1 line a day, a habit tracker, and then I did a health habit tracker and a health reflection diary as well. So yeah, that was more or less my monthly log spreads from over the years. I hope that gave you some insight and inspiration as to what you can do for your monthly log spreads. From what I can gather from looking at my monthly log spread evolution is that I started off doing what everyone else was doing. And then the more that I kept creating monthly log spreads and the more that I kept reflecting on what was working, what wasn't working for me, the more I simplified and just did the core essential stuff, which is usually a linear calendar where I could write down all my events, appointments, deadlines, dates, that kind of thing. And then I would have a habit tracker perhaps, and then I would usually include a monthly task list, and that was it. And so I encourage you to experiment. You can copy a monthly log, but then reflect on it at the end of the month and see if it's worth still pursuing. I definitely do notice that once I like something, I stick with it, and I'm a creature of habit. It might come off as boring, but I know that once I have something that works for me, it's like the saying, if it ain't broke, why fix it? So yeah, I hope this was insightful. And that is a wrap on the monthly log. I would love to hear how you set up your monthly log. Please let me know in the comments below. I've always been doing the same thing. It's kind of boring, but it works for me. In the next episode of the Bullet Journal Breakdown series, we are doing a deep dive into the daily log, the part of the system that keeps you grounded and focused one day at a time. So if you have been enjoying this series or you have found this helpful in any way, please consider to like this video and subscribe to follow along. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!